Hey friends, welcome to tonight's relaxing philosophy for sleep. This slow-spoken bedtime gentle narration is designed to help you unwind, clear your mind, and drift into a peaceful night's rest. Imagine the weight of your day slowly fading, your body sinking deeper into relaxation, and your mind unwinding with each passing moment. You probably never realized philosophy could lull you to sleep so peacefully. That's where the Stoics come in. Ancient wisdom, after all, doesn't just teach us how to live, but how to rest, breathe, and embrace calmness even as we prepare for sleep. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you're in the mood, feel free to post your location and the time where you're listening from always. Curious to know where my listeners are. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. Let's start with the very first step to peaceful sleep, the Stoic art of letting go. The ancient Stoics had a profound understanding of how the mind works, and they taught that letting go of things beyond our control is the key to inner peace. When you're trying to sleep, it's easy to let your thoughts swirl around endlessly, your mind racing over the day's events, unfinished tasks, and worries about the future. But here's the thing, according to the Stoics, none of these thoughts should be allowed to disrupt your inner tranquility. In fact, Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, famously said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Think about that for a moment. We can't control everything in life, but we have total control over how we react. So, as you lie in bed tonight, think about those things that are keeping you awake. Maybe it's work, relationships, or a future decision that feels pressing. Now, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, let those thoughts float away. Picture them gently drifting out of your mind like leaves carried on a calm river far away. From where you lie, this simple act of release isn't just an exercise in relaxation. It's an ancient practice rooted in Stoic philosophy that allows you to rest your mind from unnecessary stress. But let's dig deeper into why letting go is so important. Stoicism teaches that peace comes from within, and much of our anxiety stems from holding on to things we can't change. In modern life, this means worrying about external circumstances, whether it's an email that still hasn't been answered, or a conversation you had earlier in the day that didn't go as planned. The Stoics understood that clinging to these things only fuels our discontent. They believed that everything external is beyond our control, and the only thing we can control is our reaction to it. So, as you settle in for the night, reflect on what's weighing on your mind, what's beyond your control. Recognize it, acknowledge it, and then let it go. Your peace, and ultimately your sleep, depends on this practice. You might wonder how this plays out in your actual routine. Well, the first step is recognizing that sleep isn't just about lying down and closing your eyes. It's about preparing your mind and body to disconnect from the day's chaos. And that's exactly what the Stoics were experts at. Ways to separate themselves from external distractions and emotions that threaten their peace. As you relax into your bed, recall how Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, described the key to a peaceful life. He encouraged practicing daily mindfulness, pausing, reflecting, and releasing anything that could disturb your inner calm. Imagine that you're holding your peace like an anchor in the storm of daily life. By letting go of the things outside your control, you're not only setting yourself up for better sleep, but you're practicing a skill that can help you navigate life with greater ease. And let's get quirky for a second. You know, the Stoics believed that sleep itself was a form of reflection. While modern science tends to focus on the physical aspects of sleep, like REM cycles and brain activity, the Stoics saw sleep as a natural process for the soul to recharge. They believed that when you sleep, you're returning to a state of calm, much like a stone returning to the bottom of a clear river after it has been disturbed by ripples. For them, sleep wasn't just rest, it was a deep, necessary return to a state of peace. They would reflect on their actions before bed, meditating on what they did well and where they could improve, and then surrender the rest to the flow of life. In their eyes, sleep wasn't just a physical process, it was an essential act of letting go and embracing the present moment. Now, philosophers still argue whether sleep is truly a restorative process for the soul, or simply a necessary function for the body. Some suggest it's purely physical, a state in which our bodies and minds recover from the wear and tear of daily life. Others, like the Stoics, believed that sleep allowed us to connect with a deeper, more spiritual side of ourselves. Regardless of the philosophical debate, one thing is certain: sleep is an opportunity to detach from the world and rest in a way that brings rejuvenation, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. And with Stoic wisdom, this act of letting go before sleep becomes an intentional, transformative practice that invites a restful mind and a peaceful night. So, tonight, as you get ready to drift off, remember this: letting go isn't just about surrendering to the inevitable. It's about making a conscious decision to free your mind from distractions and anxieties. It's about recognizing what you can't control and allowing yourself to find peace in that realization. The Stoics remind us that true tranquility comes when we stop fighting against the flow of life. Let go, relax into the comfort of your bed, and embrace the restful state of mind that will lead you to peaceful sleep. As you settle more deeply into the soft comfort of your bed, let's explore another Stoic principle that can significantly enhance your journey to peaceful sleep: the dichotomy of control. This concept is at the heart of Stoic thought and is incredibly useful when you're lying there, restless, unable to silence the constant chatter of your mind. The dichotomy of control teaches you to distinguish between what is within your power and what is beyond it. It's a simple yet profound idea, and one that can bring instant relief when you're caught up in anxious thoughts. The core idea is this: we cannot control everything, but we can control how we respond to what happens around us. By focusing only on what you can control, your thoughts, your responses, and your actions, you create a mental space free of unnecessary distractions. This idea is particularly powerful when you're preparing to sleep, as it helps you let go of everything beyond your control that might be keeping you up. The Stoics knew that worry over things you cannot change is pointless. They encouraged us to embrace this wisdom, especially before sleep, to quiet the mind and allow it to rest fully. In practice, this means that if your mind begins to race with thoughts about work, relationships, or anything outside your immediate control, you can simply say, "This is not mine to fix right now. I cannot control this." You don't need to wrestle with every problem before you sleep. In fact, the act of recognizing what you can't change is freeing. With every breath, you detach yourself from the weight of those concerns. Now, take a moment to reflect on your day. What parts of it are in your hands, and which ones are out of your reach? In your thoughts about the day's events, remember that those elements that caused you stress, that burdened your mind, might not need your attention at this very moment. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, advised focusing only on the things we can change our thoughts and actions. The rest, it can wait. By embracing this mindset, you free your mind from the tyranny of endless worry. As you lie in bed, this practice becomes your mental pause button, just as you can close the lid on your laptop when you've had enough. You can close your mind to unnecessary thoughts that interfere with your ability to rest. Let's consider an example from daily life. Perhaps you're thinking about a conversation you had earlier today, worrying if you said the wrong thing, or wondering what the other person thought of you. If you're following the Stoic way, you would recognize that the only thing you can control here is your own reaction, not the outcome of the conversation or how others perceive it. You can choose to let it go, realizing that by continuing to dwell on it, you're only prolonging your own discomfort. What's important now is not that conversation, but your own ability to relax. Allow yourself to take a mental step back. With every deep breath you take, let that conversation slip further away until it no longer has a hold on you. Just like that, the heavy weight of the past has no power over your peace tonight. But let's take this a step further. Imagine you're lying there, thinking about tomorrow tasks you must complete, people you'll need to interact with. In these moments, the dichotomy of control helps you focus on what's immediate. Tomorrow will come, but what's most important now is that you give your body and mind the rest they deserve. The Stoic philosophers, like Marcus Aurelius, who lived a life full of the pressures of leadership, knew how to deal with this very problem. He often reminded himself to focus on what he could control in any given moment and let the rest go. If he had to carry the weight of an empire, he still knew that his inner peace was something he had control over, and so he would embrace that control, even when surrounded by chaos. Now, in your own life, you might not carry an empire, but you likely have many thoughts and worries competing for your attention at night. Just as Marcus Aurelius focused on what he could do right now, rather than what would happen tomorrow, you too can focus on the present moment, letting go of tomorrow's stress so you can rest fully tonight. There's a quirky, almost amusing idea that follows this. Do you ever find yourself mentally revisiting a stressful situation, even though you know it's not productive? It's almost like your mind wants to keep running through it, looking for a solution that isn't there. The Stoics, however, would find this behavior a bit like trying to grasp at smoke, trying to control something that can't be controlled. It's as if your mind is creating its own mental circus, tossing up these issues for you to worry about, but they're not real problems. They're just distractions. By consciously recognizing them as such mere distractions, you can dismiss them more easily. Think of it as taking a mental pause. When you notice the circus performing in your mind, just remind yourself, this is not within my control, and shift your focus back to your breathing, your relaxation, or even the soft sound of the fan in the background. Now, the Stoics weren't just about suppressing thoughts, they were about managing them wisely. Philosophers still argue whether it's possible to fully separate yourself from the thoughts that naturally arise in the mind. Some suggest that total separation from thoughts is not necessary, but rather the wisdom lies in how you respond to them. For example, if a thought about an upcoming event causes you anxiety, the Stoic response is not to push it away forcefully, but to acknowledge that the anxiety itself is within your control. You can choose to let it go, or even examine it with curiosity. Why does this thought cause anxiety? Is it truly something that affects your well-being at this moment? This process of mindful acknowledgement is part of the dichotomy of control, recognizing your thoughts as part of your experience, but not letting them dictate how you feel or whether you can sleep. Instead of letting them run wild, you choose to manage them, to gently guide your mind back to peaceful stillness. As you prepare to drift deeper into relaxation, let the dichotomy of control be your guide. Think of it as a helpful reminder to relinquish the grip on things outside your control. By focusing only on what's yours to manage your actions, your responses, and your thoughts, you create a mental space where sleep can easily enter. The world will continue outside your bedroom, but right now, your peace is yours to keep. So, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release all the thoughts that are beyond your control. Let them drift away, leaving you with a calm, clear mind, ready for the rest you so richly deserve. Now that we've explored the calming principle of letting go and the dichotomy of control, let's turn to another key Stoic idea that can deeply influence your ability to rest: the power of morning routines. You might be thinking, wait, we're talking about sleep here, not waking up. But here's the thing. The Stoics believed that how you begin your day is just as important as how you end it. This philosophy is crucial when we think about preparing ourselves for a peaceful night's rest. In fact, one of the Stoic philosophers, Epictetus, believed that our daily habits lay the foundation for our peace of mind, and the same holds true for how we approach sleep. If you want to sleep well, start by considering how your day begins. Imagine waking up with purpose, without the panic of hitting snooze or scrambling to get out the door. According to the Stoics, this isn't a mere luxury. It's a practice that shapes your entire mental state. Your day starts with an intention, and that intention determines how you'll face the challenges of the next 16 hours, meaning that how you wake up will influence how well you can settle into sleep later. The Stoics weren't about rushing out of bed, mindlessly diving into the noise of the world. Instead, they were advocates of mindful preparation. Start your day with a bit of space to breathe, a moment to center yourself before plunging into your responsibilities. Imagine starting your morning as if you're already beginning your nighttime wind-down, slow, deliberate, and intentional. The goal is to cultivate mental calm throughout your waking hours so that, when it's time to sleep, your mind is already primed for rest. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, often wrote about the importance of self. In the morning, his morning routine was not about rushing through tasks, but rather about checking in with his inner state. It's said that he would ask himself, "What is it that I am about to do?" By grounding himself in the moment, he was able to prepare for his day with a clearer mind and consequently better sleep at night. The Stoics understood that life's pace and the responsibilities that come with it can quickly throw us into chaos. Without a grounding practice in the morning, your day can become a blur of reactive decisions. But by starting with intention, even in small ways, you pave the way for more peaceful moments throughout the day. This peacefulness accumulates, and by the time your head hits the pillow, your mind is far more likely to be at ease. Let's dive into a small but significant part of this. How would a Stoic wake up? First, they would wake up without rushing. We live in an age where our alarms seem to trigger a race against time the moment we open our eyes. But the Stoics saw this as a misstep. They understood that taking a few moments to breathe, check in with yourself, and set intentions was key to feeling in control of your day. And feeling in control of your day means feeling more at peace when the evening rolls around. For a Stoic, waking up might involve pausing for a moment, sitting up in bed, and reflecting on the day ahead. It's about giving yourself space to ease into the morning, just as you give yourself space to ease into sleep. So, when you wake tomorrow, Imagine yourself taking a few slow, deep breaths before you dive into the rush of your day. Picture it. Each breath grounds you in the present moment. A Stoic morning routine would likely involve this pause to acknowledge the day ahead, followed by a clear intention to be at peace with what comes. For instance, Epictetus suggested practicing gratitude, reminding yourself that you are alive, capable, and in control of your own actions. This simple practice helps set the tone for a day that's not defined by external chaos, but by your own centeredness. Now, I know this might sound idealistic, especially if mornings tend to feel rushed and stressful, but even the smallest version of a Stoic morning routine can make a difference. This isn't about having an elaborate ritual. It's about beginning your day with intention. Even a brief pause to remind yourself of the things you can control will help you navigate the day's challenges with more grace and, ultimately, help you sleep better at night. So, as you settle into the comfort of your bed, you might wonder how this morning routine relates to your sleep tonight. The connection lies in the accumulation of mental calm. Just as the Stoics built their resilience over time, you too can build your mental strength by starting each day with awareness, ensuring that each step of your day flows with intention. By doing so, you create less mental noise throughout the day, which leads to less noise at night. But let's take it a step further. You might be wondering, how exactly does this translate to a better sleep experience? Well, think about it this way. When you wake up with purpose and maintain your mental calm throughout the day, you're already practicing a form of mindfulness. This practice translates directly into how well you can unwind in the evening. The less frantic your morning is, the less likely your mind will carry over a sense of chaos to your bedtime routine. The Stoics understood that rest didn't begin at night, it began the moment you woke up. You can't expect to go from the hustle and bustle of an overpacked day to instant peace at night. Peace is cultivated in every moment, starting first thing in the morning. So tomorrow, as you open your eyes, think about how you can approach your day from a place of calm and intention. Let the morning be your first step toward peaceful sleep. And remember, the Stoics would agree. The way you begin your day directly impacts the tranquility of your night. As you prepare to drift deeper into rest tonight, keep this in mind. Your daily habits, especially in the morning, can influence how well you sleep at night. Just as you take time to relax and reflect before bed, you can also take a moment each morning to ground yourself. A slow, intentional start to the day creates the mental space needed to tackle life's challenges without carrying unnecessary stress to bed with you. That's the Stoic wisdom that can guide you from the moment you wake up to the moment you fall asleep. As you continue to settle deeper into your bed, ready to let go of the day and embrace the calm of night, let's dive into another Stoic practice that has the potential to transform your nighttime routine. Journaling. Now, you may not have expected journaling to be part of a philosophy designed for sleep, but the Stoics believed it was an essential tool for self-reflection and mental clarity. Imagine this: you're lying in bed, feeling the softness of the sheets around you, and instead of letting your thoughts race or spiral, you grab a notebook and write down what's on your mind. The simple act of putting pen to paper can bring instant relief, allowing you to unload the mental clutter that's preventing you from fully relaxing. It's as if you're transferring all the swirling thoughts in your head onto the page, leaving your mind clear for rest. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, often wrote in his letters and essays about the importance of examining one's thoughts. He saw journaling as a way to maintain clarity and ensure that his actions aligned with his values. He believed that reflecting on his day through writing allowed him to let go of any unnecessary anxieties or distractions. By the end of the writing session, he felt at peace, knowing that he had examined his actions and thoughts in a calm, methodical way. This is the gift that journaling brings, not just a way to recount the events of the day, but a method for clearing your mind so you can rest. In the same way that you prepare your body for sleep by adjusting your posture, journaling prepares your mind. Instead of letting the stress of your day linger, you process it through reflection, writing, and eventually releasing it. The Stoics understood that clarity of mind leads to clarity of sleep, and journaling is one of the most effective ways to achieve that clarity. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly should I write about? The Stoics had a few different suggestions, but a simple starting point is to reflect on your actions and thoughts throughout the day. Ask yourself questions like, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? What bothered me today, and why did it bother me? These questions not only allow you to process your emotions and reactions, but also give you the chance to reframe your day in a more positive light. By writing about what went well, you can focus on your successes and let go of any negative emotions that might otherwise linger. Conversely, by acknowledging what you would change, you can avoid carrying unresolved issues into the night. Writing it all down helps prevent these thoughts from becoming mental burdens that prevent you from drifting off. The Stoics believed that practicing self-awareness was the key to understanding your reactions and emotional states. Writing in a journal becomes an act of this self-awareness, giving you a clear path to mental tranquility. Imagine ending your day in a way that not only reviews your actions, but also gives you a sense of closure. By journaling before bed, you allow yourself to reflect in a safe, private space, without judgment, while also keeping your mind focused on the present moment. This simple practice can help you separate your thoughts from your emotions, bringing a sense of calm and resolution that's necessary for peaceful sleep. It's the perfect way to close the loop on the day and transition from the busyness of your thoughts to the stillness of rest. But let's take this even further. Journaling can also be a tool for gratitude, a concept that's deeply tied to Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that gratitude was essential for maintaining inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, would regularly remind himself to be thankful for the simple, everyday things like the ability to think, the beauty of nature, and the kindness of others. He would reflect on what he was grateful for, even in the midst of challenging times. When you incorporate gratitude into your journaling practice, you shift the focus of your mind toward the positive aspects of your day. Instead of fixating on what went wrong or what you didn't accomplish, you turn your attention to what you have and what went well. It's an incredibly powerful way to anchor your thoughts in the present moment. So, as you lie in bed tonight, consider writing down a few things you're grateful for. Maybe it's something simple, like a cup of tea you had earlier or a kind word from a friend. Or perhaps it's something deeper, like the opportunity to rest and the peace that comes with sleep. Writing these things down before bed helps your mind focus on what's positive and peaceful, making it easier to transition into sleep. But the benefits of journaling don't end with just reflection and gratitude. Journaling can also be a way to confront anxiety and fear in a healthy way. As you write down your worries and fears, you have the chance to examine them with objectivity. You can ask yourself, is this fear grounded in reality? Or what is the worst that could happen, and how would I handle it? The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, believed that by confronting our fears directly, we disarm them. Instead of letting them fester in your mind, you bring them into the light, where they lose their power. The act of journaling allows you to confront your anxieties head-on, diffusing them in a safe and controlled space. This process helps prevent your worries from sneaking into your dreams, allowing you to sleep more peacefully. It's worth noting that the Stoics didn't view journaling as an exercise in self-criticism or perfectionism. They viewed it as an opportunity for growth, self-awareness, and peace of mind. The purpose of writing wasn't to beat yourself up for mistakes, but rather to understand yourself better, process your emotions, and cultivate a mindset that's more conducive to peace. Journaling isn't about writing perfect, it's about being honest with yourself, expressing your thoughts freely, and ultimately creating space for a more relaxed, peaceful sleep. So tonight, as you prepare to drift off into a well-deserved rest, consider using journaling as a tool for releasing your thoughts and bringing calm to your mind. Whether you write about your day, your gratitude, or your fears, the act of journaling creates a space for reflection and closure. It helps to clear the mental clutter that might otherwise keep you awake, and it provides a safe outlet for your thoughts, allowing you to rest peacefully. Just as the Stoics used journaling as a way to reflect, clarify, and grow, you can use this practice to set the stage for a peaceful night's sleep, free from unnecessary worry and distraction. Now that we've explored the art of letting go, the dichotomy of control, and how a purposeful morning routine can set the stage for better sleep, let's dive into another key aspect of Stoic wisdom that can bring tranquility to your night. Tranquility itself. This concept, as taught by the Stoic philosopher Seneca, is essential for both the active pursuit of a peaceful life and the passive art of peaceful rest. Seneca, who lived through political turmoil, personal loss, and health issues, often wrote about tranquility as a goal that could be achieved through cultivating an inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. The beauty of this philosophy is that it emphasizes that tranquility is not something you wait for, it's something you actively create, moment by moment. When it comes to sleep, tranquility is what allows your mind to slow down and your body to relax. Imagine yourself lying in bed, every muscle releasing the tension that's built up throughout the day. The process of unwinding isn't just physical, it's mental, too. Your thoughts, your worries, your plans, they all slowly fade away, like the final flickers of light as the day comes to an end. This kind of tranquility doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a conscious choice to surrender your anxieties and accept peace, just as the Stoics suggested. Seneca believed that tranquility was essential for happiness, and this same tranquility is what allows you to embrace peaceful sleep. Tranquility, for the Stoics, wasn't about avoiding challenges or escaping the difficulties of life. It was about how you responded to them. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything, you do have the power to choose how you react. This is especially important when we think about sleep. So much of our rest is disrupted by our own minds. But if we adopt the Stoic mindset, we can slowly learn to quiet our internal chatter. Think about it for a moment. When you're stressed or anxious, your body tenses, your mind races, and sleep becomes a distant goal. But when you embrace tranquility, when you allow yourself to fully let go and rest, you create the conditions for a peaceful night's sleep. So how do you begin cultivating this tranquility before sleep? The first step is to practice acceptance. The Stoics were big on accepting things as they are, without resistance. This doesn't mean passivity or indifference, it means acknowledging that there are things beyond your control, and that it's okay to let them go. Maybe you didn't get everything done today that you planned. Or maybe there's something unresolved that's been weighing on your mind. The Stoic response is simple: let it go. It's not about denying your feelings or pretending everything is perfect. It's about releasing the need to control every outcome. As you lie in bed tonight, take a moment to acknowledge whatever is on your mind, and then tell yourself that it's okay to leave it there. Whatever has happened today, whether good or bad, has already passed. It no longer has a hold on you. You can choose to let go and enter into a state of tranquility. By accepting things as they are, you allow yourself to stop fighting against the flow of life. This doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to helplessness. It means giving yourself permission to rest. Sleep, after all, is not just a physical state, it's a mental one, too. By accepting the present moment and surrendering your mind's need to hold on to everything, you create the perfect environment for sleep. Now, it's important to remember that tranquility isn't just about passive acceptance, it's also about active relaxation. For the Stoics, relaxation came from a sense of control over the mind. They didn't simply relax by avoiding hard work or challenges. They relaxed by being intentional with their thoughts and actions. Before sleep, you can create the same sense of intentional relaxation by consciously relaxing your body and mind. Take a few deep breaths, allowing each exhale to release the tension that's accumulated throughout the day. Picture each breath as a wave, gently pulling you deeper into rest. This is a simple but incredibly effective technique for promoting tranquility. You might also want to try progressive muscle relaxation, where you slowly tense and release each muscle group, working your way from your toes to your head. By the time you reach your head, you'll likely find that your body is already more relaxed, and your mind follows suit. Tranquility also comes from acknowledging that we are all a part of a larger world. The Stoics recognize that life doesn't revolve around us individually, but that we're part of a vast, interconnected universe. This awareness helped them put their own struggles into perspective. You might feel overwhelmed by the demands of your day or by the uncertainties of tomorrow, but by zooming out and recognizing that these things are but a small part of a much larger picture, you can gain a sense of peace. Perhaps take a moment before bed to reflect on the world around you. Imagine the vastness of the night sky, the calm of the earth, the constant rhythm of nature. This sense of perspective can help you realize that the stresses of your day are temporary and small in the grand scheme of things. By seeing yourself as part of something bigger, you can cultivate a sense of peace that transcends the immediate concerns of your life. This practice of gaining perspective is another key Stoic principle that leads to tranquility. At this point, you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I maintain this tranquility when my mind is full of worries? It's a fair question, and one that the Stoics addressed directly. They believed that tranquility came not from avoiding challenges, but from changing the way we perceive them. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles, the Stoics viewed them as opportunities for growth. So, if you find yourself struggling with something before bed, whether it's a personal issue, work-related stress, or a troubling thought, try to see it as an opportunity to practice tranquility. When you approach your worries with a sense of calm and detachment, they lose their power over you. You can look at them objectively, without becoming overwhelmed. This shift in perspective is what brings peace. The Stoics believed that nothing in life, good or bad, should disturb our inner tranquility, and when you take this approach, sleep becomes an extension of that peace. By practicing the Stoic art of tranquility, you make space for rest. You stop fighting against the events of the day, and instead, you let them go. You stop resisting the natural process of sleep, and instead, you embrace it fully. Tranquility is the key to a peaceful mind, and a peaceful mind is the key to a peaceful night's rest. So, as you lie in bed, breathe deeply and allow yourself to let go of everything you've been holding on to. Relax and surrender to the tranquility of the present moment. Sleep will follow naturally. As you settle deeper into your bed, ready to embrace the tranquility of the night. Let's now focus on another Stoic tool that can help clear your mind and ease you into peaceful sleep. The power of meditation through Stoic lenses. Meditation, as we know it today, is often associated with mindfulness practices. But the Stoics had their own version of mental stillness that can be just as effective in helping you unwind before bed. For the Stoics, meditation wasn't about chanting or deep breathing exercises in the modern sense. It was about reflection, focus, and actively training the mind to be calm and clear. Imagine yourself lying there, feeling your body relax with every breath, and gently guiding your mind to a place of stillness. It's not about forcing thoughts out of your head, but rather about gently observing them, letting them pass by without attachment. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, recommended regular self-reflection to improve both mental clarity and emotional regulation. He saw this practice of self-reflection as a way to distance ourselves from the turmoil of daily life, to gain perspective, and to align our actions with our values. This type of meditation can be incredibly helpful when you're lying in bed, as it allows you to quiet your thoughts and focus on the present moment. Instead of letting your mind race with worries, regrets, or future concerns, you simply acknowledge the thoughts and let them drift away. The key here is to not fight the thoughts, but to simply observe them as they come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. This type of mental clarity is exactly what the Stoics practiced when they meditated, not to control the mind, but to understand it and make peace with it. So how can you start meditating in the Stoic sense, especially if you're not used to sitting in silence for long periods of time? Start with something simple. As you lay in bed, begin by focusing on your breath. Take a slow, deep inhale, and as you exhale, let go of any tension you may be holding in your body. With each breath, imagine releasing the day's stress and anxieties. Picture those worries as physical objects that you can gently set down, one by one, as you breathe out. The beauty of this practice is that it's not about eliminating thoughts altogether, but simply redirecting your focus. Instead of obsessing over a meeting or an argument, bring your awareness back to your breath or a calm, neutral image, a place that makes you feel safe and serene. You could even visualize yourself in a peaceful setting, perhaps sitting by a calm lake or walking through a quiet forest. This visual meditation allows you to guide your mind into a peaceful state, rather than letting it run wild. Here's the thing, the Stoics didn't believe that peace of mind came from avoiding life's challenges or pretending that everything was always calm. Instead, they believed that true peace came from training the mind to remain steady amidst chaos. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, often meditated on the nature of life's difficulties. He would remind himself that obstacles and challenges were part of life, and that he had the power to choose how to react to them. This idea is powerful when you apply it to your sleep routine. When you lie in bed and start to feel overwhelmed by the thoughts running through your head, remember Marcus Aurelius' teachings. Instead of resisting your thoughts, simply observe them without judgment. You have the ability to let them go, to release the grip that they have on your mind. This is the Stoic way of meditation, not about controlling your thoughts, but about acknowledging them, letting them pass, and choosing to stay present and calm. This practice can be incredibly effective when it comes to falling asleep. Many of us struggle with the monkey mind, that constant chatter that keeps us from relaxing. But through Stoic meditation, you can train yourself to let go of this mental clutter, creating the space for rest. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to enter a state of peace and relaxation before bed. What's interesting is that the Stoics didn't just meditate for the sake of relaxation. They believed that meditation also had a powerful role in self-improvement. It was about reflecting on one's actions, examining whether they had lived in accordance with their values, and thinking about how they could do better the next day. In this way, Stoic meditation became a tool for personal growth and development. So, as you meditate before bed, consider reflecting on your day. You don't have to dwell on every detail, but simply ask yourself, did I live in accordance with my values today? What could I have done better? This doesn't have to be a stressful exercise, simply a moment of gentle reflection. By engaging in this kind of meditation, you give yourself the space to let go of any mistakes or regrets from the day, and move into the night with a sense of peace and acceptance. This practice not only helps to quiet the mind, but also encourages growth, reflection, and emotional regulation. It's an incredibly effective way to prepare for sleep because it clears the mental clutter and provides closure for the day. But let's not forget about one of the quirkiest aspects of Stoic meditation, their view on controlling the mind. The Stoics believed that most of our stress and anxiety come from our inability to control our thoughts and emotions. We often let our minds run wild with worry, self-doubt, or fear. But the Stoics encouraged us to view our thoughts not as truths, but as transient events. In a way, they believed that your mind is like a garden. You can plant seeds of calm and peace, or you can let weeds of anxiety and fear take root. Meditation, for them, was the practice of cultivating a peaceful mind. The interesting thing is that the Stoics didn't see this as a one-time activity. Was something to be practiced every day, even multiple times a day. So, as you prepare to rest tonight, remember that your thoughts are like clouds, temporary, fleeting, and not always worthy of your attention. By meditating in the Stoic way, you learn to observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them. You simply watch them come and go, letting them drift by like clouds on a breezy day. And here's the real beauty of this practice. Philosophers still argue whether meditation is an effective tool for quieting the mind or just a temporary distraction. Some argue that it's only through meditation that we can find true peace, while others believe that the real key lies in the awareness we bring to our thoughts. Either way, what's clear is that Stoic meditation is a simple yet powerful tool for calming the mind, gaining perspective, and setting yourself up for restful sleep. It's not about trying to clear your mind entirely, it's about recognizing the thoughts that arise and choosing not to engage with them. As you lie in bed, gently bring your attention back to your breath or the peaceful image in your mind. Don't worry if thoughts arise. That's natural. Just observe them, let them go, and return to your peaceful place. Through consistent practice, you'll find that this Stoic approach to meditation will make it easier to wind down and prepare for a restful, rejuvenating sleep. As you continue to settle into the calming rhythm of your breath, let's now shift our focus to an idea from the Stoic philosophers that can not only help you let go of the day, but also transform how you approach the fleeting nature of life itself, embracing impermanence. The Stoics were keenly aware of the transitory nature of everything: relationships, possessions, and even life itself. They saw the inevitable changes that happen around us as not something to fear, but something to accept and embrace. When you lie in bed, unable to sleep because your mind keeps circling through everything you still need to do, the concept of impermanence can be a powerful tool for finding peace. By understanding that everything in life, good or bad, is temporary, you begin to detach from the weight of it all. The ancient Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, often reminded themselves that the world around them was in constant flux, and that everything they encountered was fleeting. This idea of impermanence is a reminder that whatever problems you might be facing now, whatever stress you're feeling before sleep, won't last forever. That worry you're holding on to, the thing you've been overthinking for hours, is just a moment in time. It may feel heavy in the moment, but just like everything else, it will pass. The beauty of accepting impermanence is that it allows you to release the grip that these temporary thoughts and emotions have on you. You can see them for what they are: temporary, changeable, and ultimately inconsequential in the grand scope of your life. As you reflect on the idea of impermanence, think about the things in your life that feel overwhelming right now. Perhaps there's a project that feels never-ending, or a decision that seems too heavy to make. Maybe you're thinking about a conversation you had that didn't go well, or an event in the future that's causing anxiety. Take a moment to remind yourself that these worries, just like the night, are temporary. The Stoics would encourage you to reflect on how everything changes, whether it's the rise and fall of empires or the course of your day. In the grand scheme of things, this one moment of stress is fleeting. Just as the seasons shift, your concerns will shift as well. When you can accept that nothing stays the same, you allow yourself to stop fighting against the natural ebb and flow of life. You don't need to hold on so tightly to everything. Everything has its time and place, and eventually it will pass. This understanding of impermanence doesn't just help you detach from stress. It also helps you approach life with a sense of gratitude and appreciation. When you realize that the good moments, just like the difficult ones, are fleeting, you begin to savor the present. The Stoics often reflected on the importance of appreciating what they had in the moment, knowing that it might not last. This appreciation wasn't born from a place of fear, but from a deep recognition of the value of the present. Think about how often we get caught up in planning for the future or lamenting the past, but rarely do we truly enjoy the present. The Stoics would argue that we miss out on peace when we fail to recognize the fleeting beauty of the present moment. So, as you prepare for sleep tonight, think about what's right in front of you: the soft bed, the quiet around you, the ability to rest. Appreciate these things, however small they may seem, because they are moments in time that won't come again. This practice of appreciating the present moment is an important step in letting go of worry and embracing peace now. Let's delve into the benefits of applying this concept of impermanence to your sleep routine. When you acknowledge that everything, including your current stresses, is temporary, you can release the need to solve everything before bed. You don't need to figure out the next step, solve the puzzle, or worry about the future tonight. This moment, right here, is your moment for rest. And just as your concerns are temporary, so too is the process of falling asleep. You don't need to force it. Simply accept that rest is an ever-changing process, and, as with everything else, it will come in its own time. By embracing impermanence, you shift the focus away from the need to control every moment and instead surrender to the natural flow of life. In the same way that you allow your thoughts to drift without clinging to them, you can allow the process of sleep to come to you naturally. You're not rushing it, not forcing it, just gently guiding yourself into the comfort of rest. Another aspect of impermanence that can aid in your sleep is understanding that all things have a cycle. The Stoics viewed life as a cycle. Seasons come and go, moments of joy and sorrow rise and fall, and everything eventually returns to the natural order. By accepting that you are a part of this greater cycle, you can embrace the idea that sleep, like the rest of the day, is a natural process. You don't need to fight against it. There is peace in knowing that sleep is part of the natural rhythm of your life. You simply need to surrender to it, just as you surrender to the changing seasons or the passing of time. Understanding that sleep will come when it's ready allows you to approach the process with patience and trust. But how does the acceptance of impermanence actually help you sleep? Think about this. When we resist the natural flow of life, when we try to control every detail, we create unnecessary tension in our bodies and minds. But when we accept that we are not in control of everything, that life, like sleep, has its own rhythm, we create space for relaxation. Instead of struggling to fall asleep, you can gently let go of your day, surrender to the moment, and trust that sleep will come. This acceptance of impermanence is not a passive resignation, but an active choice to allow the flow of life to carry you into rest. You don't need to hold on to your worries, your stresses, or your to-do lists. Let them fade away, just like the day fades into night. One interesting thing about the Stoic view of impermanence is that it invites a more profound sense of resilience. Philosophers still argue whether accepting the impermanence of life leads to a more peaceful existence or whether it breeds passivity. Some argue that impermanence makes us more resilient, while others suggest it might encourage detachment. Either way, the Stoic view encourages you to accept life as it is and release your attachment to the outcomes. This can be incredibly empowering when you're trying to let go of the day and embrace sleep. Instead of resisting the natural flow of rest, you accept that sleep, just like everything else, has its own time and place. When you let go of the pressure to control everything, you create the mental space for true relaxation and rest. As you prepare to fall asleep tonight, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Everything is temporary. Your stress, your worries, your thoughts, they will all pass. The night is a moment in time that is here now and will be gone soon enough. By embracing the impermanence of everything, you allow yourself to surrender to rest, to let go of everything that's outside of your control, and trust that sleep will come when the time is right. Let the ebb and flow of life wash over you, knowing that you are a part of a much greater rhythm, and rest will follow naturally. As you settle deeper into the quiet space of your bed, let's explore the Stoic concept of virtue as a pathway to inner peace, and how it can contribute to your ability to rest peacefully. The Stoics placed a high value on virtue, believing it was the only true good in life. According to Stoic philosophy, virtue is the alignment of your actions, thoughts, and desires with nature and reason. When you live virtuously, you are acting in accordance with your highest principles, which leads to an inner calm, regardless of external circumstances. This pursuit of virtue, characterized by wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, central to the Stoic way of life, and is just as applicable to your bedtime routine. Imagine that the restless thoughts you sometimes experience at night are not caused by external events, but by a misalignment between your actions and your inner values. When you lie in bed, reflecting on your day, it's easy to notice where you've felt discomfort or unease, and in many cases, that discomfort comes from acting in ways that don't align with your core principles. For example, perhaps you didn't speak up when you felt it was important, or you behaved impulsively, when patience would have served you better. These misalignments can leave your mind feeling unsettled, which in turn makes it harder to fall asleep. But the Stoics believed that by cultivating virtue, by making sure our actions are grounded in wisdom and self-control, we create a peaceful inner environment. The key to calming your mind before sleep is to ask yourself if you've lived according to virtue that day. If you haven't, recognize that it's okay. What's important is your awareness of the misalignment and your intention to do better. By doing so, you relieve the anxiety of regret and replace it with the peaceful knowledge that you are always capable of improving. Living virtuously before sleep can take many forms, but one of the most significant ways to put this into practice is through temperance. Temperance, one of the 4 cardinal virtues, is the practice of moderation. It's about finding balance and not allowing excess to disturb your inner peace. In modern life, excess can manifest in many ways, such as overindulging in food, social media, or even thoughts that spiral out of control. The Stoics understood that excess in any form creates disruption, and they believed that cultivating temperance was essential for peace of mind. As you prepare for sleep, consider the ways in which you may have overindulged during the day. Perhaps you spent too much time scrolling through your phone, or you overextended yourself by taking on too many responsibilities. Acknowledging this before bed, without judgment, is a key practice in Stoic philosophy. By observing where you've lacked balance, you can intentionally adjust your mindset and actions, even in small ways, to bring more harmony into your life. When you embrace temperance, you release the need to rush, fixate, or overthink. This peaceful, balanced approach to life spills over into your sleep routine. As you settle into bed, you can acknowledge that you've done your best without having pushed yourself too far. You've lived a balanced life that day, and now it's time to rest. Another Stoic virtue that directly relates to sleep is courage. Courage doesn't just refer to physical bravery. It also refers to the mental fortitude required to face discomfort, fear, or uncertainty. For many, lying in bed can bring up feelings of anxiety, whether it's anxiety about the future, unresolved issues, or feelings of inadequacy. These feelings can create an inner turmoil that makes it nearly impossible to relax into sleep. But the Stoics believed that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to face fear with grace and resilience. As you lie in bed, think about what might be causing you discomfort or fear. Perhaps you're worrying about something that's beyond your control, or you're anxious about tomorrow. The Stoic response to this is to acknowledge the fear, but not to let it control you. By practicing courage, you choose to face your fears, recognize them for what they are, temporary and often exaggerated, and then gently release them. The act of confronting fear before bed is a form of self-empowerment. It means you're no longer letting fear dictate how you feel or whether you can rest. Instead, you are choosing to let go of that fear, knowing that you can face it again when the time is right. Courage before sleep means surrendering the need to control everything and trusting that, whatever happens tomorrow, you are capable of handling it. Justice, another key Stoic virtue, also plays a role in cultivating peace before sleep. Justice, in Stoic terms, is not just about fairness toward others, but also about being fair with yourself. When you lie in bed, reflecting on your day, it's important to treat yourself with kindness and fairness. This means not beating yourself up for mistakes or shortcomings. The Stoics believed in accepting human imperfection with grace. If you've made a mistake, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move forward. But don't let it become a source of self-condemnation. Justice toward yourself also means setting boundaries and ensuring that you are not overburdened by others' expectations. It's about giving yourself the same kindness and consideration that you would give to someone you love. If you've had a challenging day, don't add to the challenge by being hard on yourself. Treat yourself with fairness and compassion. And in doing so, you create a peaceful, restful space for sleep. Ultimately, living virtuously before sleep is about cultivating a life that is in alignment with your deepest values. It's about knowing that the way you live throughout the day has a direct impact on your peace of mind at night. By reflecting on your actions and ensuring they are grounded in wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you create the mental and emotional conditions for a restful night. There's no need to dwell on what you didn't accomplish or what you wish had been different. The Stoics would remind you that the only thing within your control is how you respond in the moment. And as you prepare to sleep, your response is simple. Embrace the knowledge that you've lived in alignment with your values. And if you haven't, you can always try again tomorrow. Rest in that peace, knowing that you are always on the path of growth and improvement. As you lie there in the quiet of your room, let the virtues of Stoicism be your guide to peace. Live in accordance with your highest principles, and you will create the inner calm that leads to restful sleep. Your virtues, practiced daily, are the foundation of a peaceful mind, ready to rest. As you drift further into the calming embrace of your bed, let's now delve into how Stoic wisdom can help you handle anxiety and calm your racing mind before sleep. We all experience moments of unease, whether it's the stress of an unresolved task, a personal conflict, or simply the weight of an uncertain future. These anxieties can become particularly pronounced at night, when the world quiets down and we're left alone with our thoughts. Stoicism offers powerful techniques for dealing with anxiety that can help you quiet the noise in your mind and create the mental space needed for restful sleep. One of the most important Stoic practices for managing anxiety is to focus on the present moment. The Stoics were masters of this concept, reminding us that anxiety often arises from worrying about things that haven't happened yet or may never happen at all. As you lie in bed, reflect on how many of your worries are tied to a future that is uncertain and beyond your control. For instance, you may find yourself obsessing over a presentation at work, or stressing about a decision that will be made weeks from now. The Stoics understood that worrying about what has yet to occur is futile. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present moment, acknowledging that the future is unknown and unpredictable. He believed that peace comes from letting go of the need to control every possible outcome, and simply accepting that life unfolds as it will. So tonight, as you lie there with your mind racing, remind yourself that whatever happens in the future is not your concern right now. You can only control how you react in this very moment, and right now, your focus is on relaxing and finding peace before sleep. By shifting your attention away from the future and bringing it back to the present, you take away the power that anxiety has over you. Another Stoic approach to managing anxiety is to practice negative visualization. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's actually a surprisingly effective tool for diminishing anxiety. Negative visualization involves imagining the worst-case scenario, not to make yourself anxious, but to help you realize that whatever happens, you are capable of handling it. For example, if you're anxious about a big meeting, try visualizing it going poorly. Imagine what might go wrong. Maybe you forget your points or things don't go as planned. Instead of letting this scenario overwhelm you, acknowledge that you can handle this. By contemplating failure and realizing that you can still move forward, you reduce the fear of it happening. This technique doesn't create more stress. It diminishes it by putting you in control of how you react. The Stoics understood that our anxieties are often inflated by the fear of the unknown. Negative visualization strips that fear away by bringing it into the light and showing us that we can handle even the worst situations. As you lie in bed tonight, think about the source of your anxiety and use negative visualization as a tool. Don't fear the worst outcome. Instead, imagine how you would respond and how you would move forward. By doing this, you can calm your mind and detach from unnecessary worries, allowing yourself to fall asleep with a sense of confidence and peace. But the key to using these Stoic techniques is not just in thinking about the future or confronting your anxieties. It's about accepting that anxiety is part of the human experience. The Stoics didn't believe in avoiding negative emotions, they believed in experiencing them without letting them control us. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, taught that external events don't cause us distress. Rather, it's our judgment about those events that leads to suffering. In other words, your anxiety is not caused by the circumstances themselves, but by your thoughts about them. So, when you lie in bed feeling anxious, try to observe the feeling without judgment. Instead of labeling it as something bad or uncontrollable, simply acknowledge it. Say to yourself, I am feeling anxious right now, but that's okay. By detaching yourself from the need to get rid of the anxiety, you can allow it to exist without letting it control you. This gentle acceptance is a powerful tool for overcoming anxiety, especially before sleep. It allows you to embrace the moment without resistance, and in doing so, it dissipates the intensity of the emotion. It's important to note that the Stoics didn't view anxiety as something to be eradicated, but as something to be managed. They didn't expect themselves to be free of fear or worry, they simply believed in handling it with grace. As you continue to breathe slowly and deeply, remember that anxiety, like everything else, is temporary. By practicing these Stoic principles, you're not suppressing your feelings. You're learning to engage with them in a healthy and productive way. You're taking away the power that anxiety has to disrupt your peace, and you're choosing to focus on the present moment, free from judgment or fear. This is the Stoic approach. Not to fight your emotions, but to understand them and choose how to respond. In addition to these techniques, the Stoics also advocated for maintaining a sense of perspective in the face of anxiety. Often, our worries are inflated because we view them as insurmountable or catastrophic. But by stepping back and putting them in perspective, we can see them for what they are: temporary, manageable, and often much smaller than they appear in our minds. Seneca, another key Stoic philosopher, suggested that when we feel overwhelmed by a challenge, we should ask ourselves, what's the worst that can happen, and how would I handle it? When you apply this to your anxiety before bed, it helps to diminish the fear. If you're worried about an upcoming event, think about the worst possible outcome and ask yourself how you would cope. In most cases, you'll realize that even if things don't go as planned, you can adapt and move forward. This mental exercise helps you build resilience, allowing you to face the night with a sense of calm and control. Ultimately, the Stoic response to anxiety is one of acceptance, reflection, and perspective. Anxiety is a natural human emotion, but it doesn't need to control you. By applying Stoic wisdom, focusing on the present, practicing negative visualization, and maintaining a sense of perspective, you can manage anxiety and find peace in the midst of it. So, as you lie in bed tonight, Remember that your worries do not define you, and they do not control your ability to rest. You have the tools to manage them, to detach from them, and to gently guide your mind into the calmness of sleep. With each breath, release the anxiety, and surrender to the peace that comes when you accept things as they are, knowing that whatever happens, you can handle it. Now that we've discussed how Stoic philosophy can help with letting go, embracing impermanence, cultivating virtue, and managing anxiety, let's turn to a unique and powerful Stoic practice that will help you achieve a restful mind and prepare you for sleep. Building mental resilience. Resilience is the ability to withstand or recover from difficult conditions. And for the Stoics, it wasn't just a survival mechanism, it was a path to tranquility. Life, according to Stoicism, will inevitably present obstacles, challenges, and uncomfortable situations. The key is not to avoid them, but to cultivate the strength to endure them without losing your inner peace. In modern life, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by stress, disappointments, and the pressures that come with daily responsibilities. But the Stoics believed that life's difficulties weren't a cause for despair. Rather, they were opportunities to practice and strengthen our mental resilience. As you lie in bed, ready for sleep, take a moment to think about the challenges you've faced today or in recent days. Instead of viewing them as burdens, consider them as tests of your resilience. How did you respond to those challenges? Did you face them with calm and acceptance, or did you let them disturb your peace? The Stoics believed that every challenge, no matter how small or large, is an opportunity to practice fortitude. By reframing adversity as a chance for growth, you can transform how you experience stress and setbacks. This transformation is key to cultivating mental resilience, the ability to face the world's difficulties with grace and poise, knowing that they do not define your peace or your ability to rest. So how does this Stoic principle of resilience apply to your ability to sleep peacefully? First, let's look at how the Stoics viewed discomfort. For them, discomfort wasn't something to avoid at all cost. It was something to embrace and learn from. In fact, they often recommended deliberately placing themselves in uncomfortable situations in order to practice resilience. For example, they might sleep on the floor or fast for a period of time to teach themselves not to be dependent on comforts or external conditions for peace. In the context of sleep, this Stoic approach can be incredibly useful. Sometimes, when we lie in bed, we might feel restless, physically uncomfortable, or mentally unsettled. But instead of seeing these sensations as barriers to sleep, we can reframe them as opportunities to practice resilience. If you find yourself struggling to sleep, instead of fighting against the discomfort, accept it. Acknowledge the restlessness without judgment, and remind yourself that discomfort is temporary. This practice of accepting discomfort without resistance is an essential part of Stoic resilience. By learning to embrace discomfort, you develop the mental strength to face whatever challenges the night may bring without becoming overwhelmed by them. Over time, this mindset will make it easier to relax, knowing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Another aspect of Stoic resilience that can help with sleep is the practice of detachment from outcomes. The Stoics believed that we cannot control external events or the outcomes of our actions. What we can control is our response to those events. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the need to control everything from our schedules to our relationships to our sleep patterns. We worry about what might happen, how things will turn out, and whether we're doing enough. But the Stoics reminded us that this need for control only creates anxiety and prevents us from embracing life as it is. When it comes to sleep, this principle is incredibly useful. If you lie in bed trying to force yourself to sleep, you create unnecessary stress. The more you try to control your sleep, the more elusive it becomes. The Stoics would advise you to practice detachment. Instead of fixating on the outcome of sleep, simply allow yourself to rest. The more you surrender your attachment to the need for sleep, the easier it will come. When you embrace the present moment and stop fighting against it, you invite rest and peace into your mind. Just like the Stoics who practice detachment from the outcomes of their actions. You can practice detaching from the outcome of your sleep. Let go of the need for a perfect night's rest and allow your body and mind to find their natural rhythm. In addition to practicing detachment, the Stoics emphasized the importance of perspective in building resilience. They encouraged us to step back and view our challenges from a broader viewpoint, understanding that life is full of ups and downs, and that each moment is part of a larger story. When it comes to sleep, this Stoic perspective can help you manage frustration and impatience. If you lie in bed, unable to sleep, instead of becoming frustrated, remind yourself that this moment is just one small part of your life's journey. Whether you sleep well or not tonight, it's not a reflection of your worth or your ability to succeed. By seeing the bigger picture, you can let go of the pressure to perform or achieve in any given moment. This ability to detach from the immediate and view it in the context of your entire life is a powerful tool for building resilience. It helps you face challenges with greater calm, and in the case of sleep, it helps you relax and trust that your body and mind know what they need. One key aspect of Stoic resilience is the ability to reframe negative experiences as opportunities for growth. The Stoics believed that our external circumstances are neutral. It's our interpretation of them that gives them meaning. When we face difficulties, we have the power to choose how we respond. If we choose to view challenges as opportunities to practice virtue and resilience, they no longer have the power to disturb our peace. For example, if you're lying in bed and find yourself struggling with restlessness, reframe it as an opportunity to practice patience and acceptance. See it as a moment where you can practice the Stoic virtues of self-control and endurance. Instead of viewing the discomfort as something to be avoided, embrace it as an opportunity to strengthen your resilience. By shifting your perspective, you transform the experience of sleeplessness into a valuable lesson in mental fortitude. Over time, this practice will make it easier to handle discomfort, whether it's physical or mental, without letting it disrupt your peace. Incorporating these Stoic practices into your sleep routine can have a profound impact on your ability to rest. By focusing on resilience, detachment, and perspective, you can create the mental environment necessary for peaceful sleep. Sleep isn't just about lying down and waiting for rest to come. It's about preparing your mind to relax, releasing the need for control, and accepting the present moment. Just as the Stoics practiced resilience in the face of life's challenges, you can practice resilience in the quiet of the night, accepting discomfort, reframing negative experiences, and trusting that rest will come when it's meant to. By embracing these Stoic principles, you'll find it easier to let go of your worries, embrace the present moment, and drift off into a restful, peaceful sleep. As you find your body sinking further into the calm comfort of your bed, let's now consider how a profound connection to nature can enhance your journey toward restful sleep. For the Stoics, the natural world was an essential teacher of wisdom, peace, and tranquility. The Stoics viewed nature as something to be in harmony with its rhythms, its cycles, and its beauty. Nature wasn't just a backdrop for life. It was a source of deep understanding and a reflection of the Stoic principles they lived by. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is learning to align yourself with nature, and this alignment plays a crucial role in how you approach rest. When it comes to sleep, the natural world offers a perfect model. Consider the rhythm of the seasons, the movement of the stars, or the cycles of day and night. These things exist in perfect balance, without effort. The Stoics saw this as a reminder that life's flow is natural, and peace comes when we stop fighting against it. As you lie in bed tonight, take a moment to reflect on the rhythms of nature that surround you. Just as the world transitions seamlessly from day to night, so too can you allow your mind to transition into a state of rest. The natural world doesn't rush, doesn't force, and doesn't resist. Everything unfolds in its own time. Similarly, when you practice aligning with nature, you allow yourself to let go of the need to control the pace of your life. You can simply relax, knowing that sleep, like the sun setting each evening, will come naturally if you allow it. This connection to nature is also deeply connected to the Stoic concept of acceptance. Just as the Stoics accepted the natural course of life, recognizing that we can't control the forces of nature, so too must we accept the natural flow of our own lives. By practicing acceptance, we learn to stop resisting the natural processes that occur around us and within us. This acceptance becomes especially important when it comes to sleep. In today's world, we often fight against the natural flow of our bodies. We stay up late, push ourselves to meet deadlines, and try to control every detail of our lives. But the Stoics reminded us that life's flow is not something to be dominated or resisted. Instead, they encouraged us to live in accordance with nature, to honor its rhythm, and to embrace the moments that come naturally. Sleep, too, follows this rhythm. It's not something that can be forced or hurried. Just like the changing of seasons, it has its own time, and trying to rush it will only cause more stress. So, as you lie in bed tonight, reflect on the natural, the rhythm of life, the ebb and flow of the tides, the setting of the sun, the quiet stillness of the night. These natural rhythms remind you that everything has its time, and it's okay to surrender to the flow of rest. By accepting sleep as a natural part of your cycle, you free yourself from the pressure to control it, allowing it to come to you effortlessly. The Stoics also taught us to observe nature not only for its calm and rhythm, but also for its simplicity and resilience. Nature is both incredibly simple and profoundly resilient. From the smallest blade of grass to the tallest tree, nature embodies the virtues of patience and strength. The Stoics believed that by observing nature, we could learn to live simply and to endure challenges with grace. In the context of sleep, this lesson in resilience can be incredibly valuable. When you lie in bed, feeling restless or anxious, consider the resilience of nature. Trees stand firm through storms, flowers bloom even after harsh winters, and rivers continue to flow despite obstacles in their path. Just like nature, you too are resilient. Whatever challenges you face, whether they are mental, emotional, or physical, they are temporary. By observing nature's patience and resilience, you can remind yourself that your current state of discomfort or restlessness is not permanent. Just like the storm passes and the flowers bloom, your mind will find its peace and rest. Allow the simplicity and resilience of nature to teach you how to endure the temporary discomfort of restlessness. knowing that your body and mind will eventually find the stillness they need to sleep peacefully. One interesting aspect of the Stoic connection to nature is the practice of spending time in nature as a way to reconnect with your inner peace. The Stoics often spent time outdoors, walking through gardens, reflecting by streams, or observing the natural world. Nature was not just a place to escape, it was a source of wisdom and perspective. In today's world, we often disconnect from nature, spending most of our time indoors, glued to screens, and surrounded by artificial noise. But the Stoics knew that being in nature helped them find clarity and peace. If you're feeling restless before sleep, consider spending some time outside, even if it's just for a few minutes. Take a walk in the garden, sit by a tree, or simply gaze at the night sky. The simple act of being in nature, even for a short time, can help ground you and remind you of the natural rhythm of life. This practice can also help calm your mind and prepare it for sleep. The Stoics often found that being outdoors allowed them to quiet their thoughts, clear their minds, and return to a sense of balance. So, when you feel that restlessness creeping in, try stepping outside and reconnecting with nature. Let its simplicity and quietude bring you back to the present moment, free from distractions and worries. Another way that the Stoics connected with nature was through mindfulness and observation. The Stoics were masters of mindfulness. They practiced constantly observing their thoughts, actions, and the world around them. When you lie in bed, struggling with racing thoughts, it can be helpful to engage in a practice of mindfulness, observing the sounds and sensations around you. This might be the soft rustling of leaves outside your window, the gentle hum of a fan, or the rhythm of your breathing, just like the Stoics practiced mindfulness in their daily lives. You can practice it before sleep, tuning into the present moment and releasing any distractions or worries that arise. By focusing on the simple sensory experiences around you, you bring your mind into alignment with the calm of the present moment, just as the Stoics did when they connected with nature. In Stoic philosophy, nature also served as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. The Stoics believed that everything in the universe is connected, that we are all part of a larger order. This sense of interconnectedness helps us to let go of the small irritations and frustrations that arise in our daily lives. When you lie in bed, feeling restless or anxious, take a moment to reflect on this idea of interconnectedness. Remember that your worries are just a small part of a much larger whole. Your thoughts and emotions are temporary, just as the night will eventually turn to day. By recognizing your place within this larger web of existence, you can release the need to control every moment, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. The Stoics taught that by aligning ourselves with nature's rhythms and accepting the natural order, we find peace. So, as you prepare to sleep tonight, take a moment to connect with nature, whether it's through reflection, mindfulness, or a simple appreciation of the world around you. Let the beauty, simplicity, and resilience of nature remind you that you too can find peace in the flow of life. As you release the need to control every aspect of your day and night, surrender to the natural rhythm of sleep, knowing that it will come to you in its own time, just like the seasons change and the stars move across the sky. Allow nature to be your guide to peaceful rest. As you continue to relax in the quiet of your room, ready to surrender to the night, let's now explore a fascinating Stoic technique called negative visualization, which might sound unusual at first, but is a profoundly effective method for reducing anxiety and fostering a sense of peace before sleep. At its core, Negative visualization is the practice of imagining the worst-case scenario, essentially contemplating what might go wrong in any given situation. The goal isn't to dwell on negative thoughts or create unnecessary stress. Instead, it's to put our fears and anxieties into perspective and recognize that, no matter what happens, we are capable of handling it. For the Stoics, this practice was a way to reduce fear by confronting it directly. They believed that by visualizing the worst, you could better prepare for it and, in doing so, detach from the anxiety it causes. As you lie in bed tonight, you might find yourself worrying about something tomorrow, perhaps a meeting, a conversation, or a decision that needs to be made. Negative visualization suggests that instead of avoiding or fearing these thoughts, you engage with them directly. Imagine the worst possible outcome. Perhaps the meeting doesn't go well, or the conversation is awkward. By visualizing this outcome, you rob it of its power. It's no longer a frightening unknown. It becomes something you have already mentally rehearsed, something you know you can handle. When you take this approach, you begin to realize that no matter what happens, you can face it with grace. This process of confronting fear and releasing the hold it has on your mind allows you to move past it, creating space for calm and restfulness before sleep. The interesting thing about negative visualization is that it doesn't lead to more anxiety, it actually reduces it. The Stoics believed that by mentally preparing for the worst, we develop resilience and acceptance. Instead of allowing worry to fester, negative visualization helps us accept the uncertainty of life with a greater sense of calm. You might be thinking, if I visualize something going wrong, doesn't that just make it more likely to happen? But the Stoics would argue the opposite. The more you worry about an unknown outcome, the more anxiety it creates in your life. By visualizing the worst-case scenario and recognizing that you can cope with it, you take away the fear of the unknown. This practice allows you to step into each moment, including bedtime, with greater peace, knowing that you are capable of handling whatever life throws your way. It's a powerful reminder that fear thrives on uncertainty and anticipation. But when we confront it head-on, it loses its grip on us. Here's an example of how you could apply negative visualization to your sleep routine. Suppose you're anxious about an upcoming presentation or a significant event tomorrow. These thoughts might keep you awake, running through scenarios in your mind and stressing about every potential outcome. Negative visualization invites you to pause and imagine the worst-case scenario. Maybe the presentation doesn't go as planned, and you don't impress your audience. Imagine what that would feel like. Now, ask yourself, what would you do in that situation? Could you learn from the experience? Could you pick yourself up and continue forward? By visualizing the worst and mentally preparing for it, you are not only alleviating your anxiety, but also reminding yourself that whatever happens, it will not define you. You will move on, adapt, and learn from it. By confronting your fear head-on in your mind, you can release the grip that it has on your thoughts, allowing you to find peace and calm as you prepare for sleep. One of the most beneficial aspects of negative visualization is that it trains the mind to embrace impermanence. The Stoics believed that nothing in life is permanent, neither our successes nor our failures. By practicing negative visualization, you come to terms with the idea that setbacks, discomfort, and failure are part of life's natural flow. Instead of resisting them or fearing them, you accept them as opportunities for growth. This shift in perspective not only helps you handle life's challenges with grace, but it also creates space for peace before sleep. You no longer need to fight against what may come. Instead, you embrace the present moment and trust that you can handle whatever arises. This understanding of impermanence helps you stop worrying about potential outcomes, knowing that whatever happens, it will pass, and you will move forward. Another key Stoic concept tied to negative visualization is the idea of focusing on what is in your control. In many situations, anxiety arises because we worry about things outside our control, how others perceive us, how events will unfold, or whether we will meet our expectations. Negative visualization helps you return your focus to what you can control, your reactions and your mindset. For example, as you lie in bed, anxious about tomorrow, negative visualization allows you to reframe your thoughts. Instead of worrying about the outcome of a meeting or event, you focus on what you can control: your preparation, your effort, and your ability to respond with composure. The Stoics believed that our power lies in our ability to control our own thoughts and actions, not in controlling the world around us. When you practice negative visualization, you let go of the need to control every detail and focus on the things within your power, your ability to stay calm, adapt, and learn. This shift in focus is liberating and creates the mental space necessary for rest and relaxation. One fascinating and somewhat counterintuitive aspect of negative visualization is that it can help you cultivate gratitude. The Stoics believed that one of the most powerful ways to live a peaceful life was through gratitude, not for what we have, but for what we could lose. By practicing negative visualization, you become more aware of the preciousness of the present moment and the things you might take for granted. This practice can help you recognize how much you have in your life, your health, your relationships, your work, and appreciate them more fully. When you confront the possibility of loss, you develop a deeper sense of gratitude for the present. In turn, this gratitude promotes inner peace, helping you let go of unnecessary worries and focus on the things that truly matter. Incorporating negative visualization into your nightly routine can be a transformative way to calm your mind before bed. As you lie in bed, begin by reflecting on the worries or anxieties that are preventing you from resting. Instead of pushing these thoughts away, confront them. Imagine the worst-case scenario, and then ask yourself how you would handle it. Acknowledge that, no matter what happens, you will move forward. Embrace the impermanence of life and accept that setbacks and failures are part of the process. This practice of mental preparation creates a sense of calm and acceptance, allowing you to release the grip of anxiety and transition into a peaceful night of sleep. By practicing negative visualization, you take control of your mind and your reactions, releasing the power that anxiety has over you. You become more resilient, more adaptable, and more at peace with the uncertainty of life. As you continue to apply this Stoic technique, you'll find that your ability to rest, relax, and embrace the present moment deepens, and sleep comes more naturally. Remember, the Stoics believed that the ultimate peace comes from within. By practicing negative visualization, you align your mind with the present, let go of worry, and find tranquility before you close your eyes for the night. As you continue to sink into the warmth and comfort of your bed, ready to release the day, let's explore how the practice of gratitude, a central Stoic concept, can play a pivotal role in preparing your mind for sleep. Gratitude might not be the first thing you think of when considering Stoic practices, but in reality, it holds a vital place in the philosophy. The Stoics were keenly aware that a life of contentment doesn't come from external circumstances, but from within. mind's ability to recognize and appreciate what it has, even in the face of challenges. In fact, Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoics, often wrote about the importance of being grateful, despite the hardships he faced as Roman emperor. He would reflect on the simple things he had to be thankful for, the people who helped him, the lessons he learned, and the gifts of life itself. For the Stoics, gratitude was a constant practice that helped them maintain peace and perspective, even during difficult times. This is something you can bring into your sleep routine. Before you close your eyes tonight, consider the power of taking a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for, no matter how big or small. Gratitude shifts the focus away from what's lacking in your life and turns your attention to what is abundant, filling you with a sense of contentment and peace. As you lie there in your bed, begin by taking a few deep breaths and gently ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? It could be something simple, like the warmth of your bed or the quiet of the evening. Or it could be something deeper, like a positive interaction you had, the lessons learned from a challenge, or the support of loved ones. The act of recognizing these moments of gratitude before sleep helps to soften your mind, quiet any lingering anxieties, and bring you into a peaceful state of acceptance and rest. Gratitude is a practice that extends beyond merely recognizing the positive things in our lives. It's about fully appreciating them and not taking them for granted. The Stoics often encouraged not just acknowledgement, but an active appreciation of the small, fleeting moments that life offers. Imagine this: if you were to focus only on what you don't have or what's causing you stress, you'd inevitably find yourself overwhelmed. But when you intentionally make space for gratitude, you counterbalance this tendency. If you've had a busy or difficult day, focusing on gratitude reminds you that even in adversity, there are gifts. You can be thankful for your resilience, your ability to overcome challenges, and the strength you've gained through the day's experiences. This shift in perspective is particularly useful before sleep. As you lie there, you may realize that what seemed like a stressful day becomes, in reflection, an opportunity for growth, learning, and deeper appreciation. The Stoics understood that our internal peace isn't determined by our external circumstances, but by how we interpret them. Gratitude is a practice of reframing our experiences, focusing on the positive and finding lessons, beauty, and value in all that we experience. By consciously practicing gratitude before bed, you align your mind with peace, gratitude, and acceptance, making it easier to drift into restful sleep. As you prepare to close your eyes, think about your day. Reflect on the things that, in the moment, might have caused stress, but also think about what you've learned from those experiences. The Stoics believed that even adversity could be a source of wisdom if we choose to learn from it. Maybe you faced a difficult conversation, a frustrating task, or a challenge that seemed insurmountable. Now, take a moment to reflect on the lessons it offered. Perhaps it taught you patience, resilience, or the importance of clarity in your actions. By shifting your focus to the lessons, you transform what might have been a stressful situation into an opportunity for growth. This act of reframing is a crucial part of the Stoic practice of gratitude. It's not just about recognizing the good, but finding meaning and value in every experience, even those that initially seem negative. When you reflect on your day with gratitude, you build a sense of accomplishment and peace, knowing that you faced whatever came your way with awareness and intention. This mental shift allows you to rest easy, without carrying the weight of unresolved frustrations or worries. There's another interesting dimension to gratitude that the Stoics embraced: They were thankful for the present moment, not for a distant future. The common tendency is to look ahead, to focus on what might come, or to wish for things to be different. But the Stoics understood that true peace comes from embracing the present as it is. Gratitude is a tool for staying rooted in the here and now. So often, before sleep, we find ourselves replaying the events of the day or worrying about what's next. But by bringing gratitude into your bedtime routine, you can pull your mind away from these distractions and back to the present moment. Think about all the simple things you have at this very moment: the warmth of your sheets, the softness of your pillow, the quiet of the evening, the comfort of your own breath. By appreciating these small but significant moments, you root yourself in the present, letting go of everything else. The Stoics believed that true happiness was found not in external rewards, but in the peace that comes from aligning yourself with the present. As you lie in bed tonight, let the practice of gratitude help you reconnect with the present moment. Let go of any thoughts about the future or the past and simply appreciate what you have right here, right now. This presence of mind is key to releasing the tensions of the day and preparing for peaceful, restorative sleep. Gratitude also helps you find balance in your perspective, reminding you that no day is without value. Even on days filled with stress or challenges, there are moments to be thankful for. By consciously choosing to focus on these moments, you bring balance to your thinking, counteracting the tendency to dwell on what went wrong or what could have been better. The Stoics believed in focusing on the things that are within our control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. When you focus on gratitude, you exercise control over your mindset, shifting it from scarcity to abundance, from stress to peace. This mindset makes it easier to relax, knowing that your efforts today, no matter how small, were worthwhile. It's an empowering practice that helps you embrace the present moment with acceptance. And that acceptance is what allows you to rest fully. One powerful aspect of practicing gratitude is its ability to connect us with the bigger picture. The Stoics often reflected on the interconnectedness of all things, understanding that our lives are part of a much larger whole. This awareness can help you embrace life's challenges with greater calm, knowing that each experience, whether good or bad, is part of the journey. By practicing gratitude, you also deepen your connection to the world around you, appreciating the people, experiences, and circumstances that shape your life. This gratitude isn't just about appreciating what you have. It's about seeing the value in everything, recognizing that every moment is an opportunity to learn, grow, and contribute to the world. As you lie in bed tonight, reflect on your place in the world and the connections that make your life rich and meaningful. In doing so, you invite peace into your heart, allowing your mind to settle into the quiet of the night, ready for restful sleep. Gratitude before sleep not only brings peace, but it also aligns your mind with a sense of purpose and contentment. By acknowledging the gifts of the day, no matter how small, you prepare your mind to rest in the understanding that life, in all its complexity, is something to be thankful for. As you let go of the stresses and anxieties of the day, let gratitude be the bridge that carries you into a peaceful and restful sleep, knowing that you have experienced another day of growth, learning, and connection. As you continue to sink further into the comforting embrace of your bed, let's now explore how the Stoic practice of silence and solitude can help quiet your mind and ease you into peaceful sleep. In a world that is often loud, chaotic, and filled with constant distractions, silence can be a rare and precious gift. The Stoics recognized the value of solitude and quiet reflection, using these moments to center themselves, regain perspective, and reconnect with their core values. For them, silence wasn't simply the absence of noise. It was an opportunity for deep self-reflection and clarity. In modern life, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the noise of the world's social media notifications, work emails, personal responsibilities, and the constant stream of information. These distractions can leave your mind racing, even when you try to relax. But the Stoics believed that true peace comes from within, and that silence is the gateway to reconnecting with that inner peace. As you lie in bed tonight, consider how much time you spend in silence throughout your day. Are you ever truly alone with your thoughts, without the constant bombardment of noise? The Stoics would argue that these moments of silence are crucial for maintaining balance and tranquility. When we create space for quiet reflection, we allow ourselves to reconnect with our deeper selves, away from the noise and distractions of the world. Imagine lying in bed with the soft stillness of the night around you. In this moment, there are no demands on your attention, no distractions pulling you in different directions. It's just you, your breath, and the peaceful rhythm of your body. This is the essence of Stoic silence, a moment of peace where you can tune out the chaos and focus solely on the present. The Stoics understood that the mind, like the body, needs moments of rest and quiet in order to function at its best. They believed that silence allowed the mind to process the events of the day, to find clarity, and to restore balance. In today's world, it can be challenging to find true silence. We're often surrounded by noise, whether it's the hum of the city, the buzz of electronic devices, or the constant flow of conversations and media. But the Stoics would remind us that silence is not just a physical absence of sound, it's a state of mental stillness, a moment when we can quiet the endless chatter of the mind and return to a state of calm. Before sleep, silence offers a unique opportunity to detach from the outside world and reconnect with yourself. The Stoics often took time each day to retreat into solitude, away from the noise and demands of their busy lives, to reflect on their thoughts, actions, and emotions. This practice of solitude wasn't about isolation or avoidance. It was about creating space for inner clarity and peace. It allowed them to examine their lives, cultivate self-awareness, and refine their understanding of virtue. By practicing silence, they were able to disconnect from the external world and focus inwardly, ensuring that they lived in alignment with their values. This practice of self-reflection before sleep is something you can incorporate into your own life. When you lie in bed, take a moment to embrace the silence around you. Let go of the day's distractions and instead focus inward. Reflect on the events of the day with a calm and objective mind. How did you respond to challenges? Did you act in accordance with your values? This quiet reflection allows you to release any lingering worries or anxieties and move into a state of peaceful rest, knowing that you've lived with intention and purpose. One of the most powerful aspects of silence, according to the Stoics, is its ability to foster mindfulness. In the quiet of the night, you have the opportunity to tune into the present moment without judgment, without rushing, and without external pressures. The Stoics believed that true peace and happiness could only be found in the present. When we're caught up in the noise of the world, it's easy to become disconnected from the present moment. But by embracing silence, we allow ourselves to return to the here and now. As you lie in bed, instead of worrying about the future or ruminating on the past, focus on the simple sensations of the present. Feel the weight of the covers, the warmth of your body, the rhythm of your breathing. By doing this, you practice mindfulness, engaging fully with the present moment and letting go of anything that might disturb your peace. Silence creates a mental space where you can release the distractions of the day and focus entirely on your own experience. It's a practice that not only promotes rest, but also nurtures your ability to stay grounded in the present, free from the mental clutter that often keeps you awake. Silence also encourages a deeper connection to your inner wisdom. The Stoics believed that wisdom could only be found when we created space for quiet contemplation. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to overlook the quiet whispers of our inner voice, the voice that guides us toward what is good, true, and virtuous. But in moments of silence, we can hear this voice clearly. When you lie in bed tonight, instead of letting your thoughts race, take a moment to simply listen to yourself. What do you need? What do you truly desire? The Stoics believed that wisdom comes from tuning into your inner truth and aligning your actions with that wisdom. By practicing silence, you create the mental space to hear your deeper self, allowing you to make decisions and respond to challenges from a place of clarity and integrity. This self-awareness nurtures inner peace, which in turn supports restful sleep. Another profound benefit of silence is its ability to help you cultivate emotional resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, joy and sorrow, success and failure. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control the events of our lives, we can control how we respond to them. Silence provides an opportunity to process our emotions and respond to them with calm and equanimity. When you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or stressed, instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to embrace silence. Reflect on your emotions without judgment, and allow them to pass through you without becoming attached to them. This practice of emotional detachment is key to cultivating resilience. It allows you to face the challenges of life without being thrown off course by your feelings. As you prepare for sleep tonight, embrace this silence as a tool for emotional balance. Let go of any lingering tensions or worries, and trust that you can face whatever comes tomorrow with clarity and calm. Finally, silence fosters gratitude. When the world is quiet, it's easier to appreciate the small things that often go unnoticed. The Stoics believed that gratitude was a cornerstone of a peaceful life. In the stillness of the night, take a moment to reflect on the things you are grateful for: your health, your home, the people in your life. In the absence of noise and distraction, your mind can focus on these gifts, filling you with a sense of appreciation and contentment. Gratitude nurtures peace, making it easier to release the stress and worries of the day, creating space for restful sleep. So, as you lie in bed tonight, embrace the silence. Allow it to be a tool for self-reflection, mindfulness, emotional resilience, and gratitude. In the stillness, you'll find the clarity and peace needed to release the day and prepare for restful, restorative sleep. Just as the Stoics used silence to connect with their inner wisdom, you too can use this moment to quiet your mind and relax into the natural flow of rest. By embracing the simplicity and power of silence, you invite peace into your life, allowing sleep to come naturally, as it is meant to. As you continue to relax into the quiet of the night, let's now bring everything together and reflect on the final Stoic practice that can help you sleep peacefully: the art of letting sleep be your teacher. Throughout this journey, we've explored the Stoic principles of acceptance, resilience, virtue, silence, and gratitude, all of which play an important role in preparing your mind for rest. But there is one final Stoic insight that ties everything together: the idea that sleep like all aspects of life, is a natural process that requires our acceptance and trust. The Stoics understood that there are certain things in life that we cannot control, and sleep is one of them. No matter how hard we try, we cannot force ourselves to sleep. It comes when it's ready, and we must trust in the process. By letting sleep be our teacher, we learn to let go of the need to control every aspect of our lives and instead embrace the natural rhythms that guide us. When you lie in bed tonight, instead of trying to force yourself to sleep, surrender to the process. Allow yourself to relax into the quiet, knowing that sleep will come when the time is right. The more you let go of the pressure to sleep, the more easily rest will find you. This act of surrender is a powerful Stoic practice. It's about trusting in the natural order of things and accepting that there are times when we must simply allow life to unfold. The Stoics would remind us that life, including sleep, is not something to be controlled, but something to be experienced with grace and acceptance. In Stoic philosophy, this surrender doesn't mean passivity. It means recognizing what is within your control and what is not. You can control your actions, your thoughts, and your responses, but you cannot control the timing of sleep. By acknowledging this, you free yourself from the anxiety that comes with trying to force rest. The Stoics were advocates of mental discipline, but they also knew when to step back and allow life to unfold naturally. Sleep, like any other process, follows its own rhythm. And when you stop struggling against it, you create the conditions for it to happen effortlessly. When you accept that sleep is not something to force, but something to embrace, you allow yourself to relax more deeply and trust in the process. This trust is key to cultivating peace of mind before bed. Think of the natural world around you, the way the tides ebb and flow, the way the seasons change, and the way the sun sets each evening. These processes unfold in their own time, without resistance. The Stoics often drew lessons from nature, seeing it as a model of balance, acceptance, and harmony. Sleep follows the same natural rhythm. Just as the sun sets and the stars appear without effort, sleep will arrive when you stop trying to force it. The more you try to control it, the more elusive it becomes. But when you surrender to it, trust the process, and align yourself with the natural flow, sleep will come. This understanding of sleep as a natural process is at the heart of Stoic wisdom. It teaches us to let go of the need to control everything, to accept what is, and to trust that we are part of a much larger, harmonious system. Letting sleep be your teacher also means letting go of any judgments or frustrations about your sleep patterns. Many of us become frustrated when we can't sleep, viewing it as a failure or a sign of weakness. But the Stoics would remind us that frustration only adds to the problem. When we resist sleep, when we fight against the process, we only create more tension and anxiety. Instead, the Stoic approach is to accept that sleep will come when it's ready. And if it doesn't, it's not a reflection of our worth. Instead of focusing on the outcome, we focus on the process. If you're awake in the middle of the night, instead of stressing about how you should be sleeping, simply embrace the stillness. Reflect on the thoughts that come to your mind, without judgment, and let them pass. Don't attach meaning to the fact that you're awake. Simply accept it and surrender to the present moment. This practice of non-attachment allows you to remain calm and peaceful, even when sleep doesn't come immediately. The Stoics would remind us that everything has its time and place, and sleep is no different. By letting go of the need to control it, you align yourself with the natural order, and in doing so, you invite rest. Incorporating this Stoic principle, of letting sleep be your teacher also involves practicing gratitude for the gift of rest. Many of us take sleep for granted, but the Stoics understood that rest is an essential part of living a virtuous life. They would often reflect on the simple joys of life things, like the ability to breathe, the warmth of a fire, the beauty of nature, and the comfort of sleep. By cultivating gratitude for these simple things, we learn to appreciate the peace that sleep brings. Before you close your eyes tonight, take a moment to be thankful for the rest your body and mind will receive. Gratitude helps to release any remaining tension, bringing you into a state of peaceful acceptance. When you are grateful for the rest you will receive, you allow yourself to surrender fully to the process, trusting that sleep will come when it's meant to. The Stoics also believed in the power of reflection, and this principle applies to sleep as well. Before bed, the Stoics would often reflect on their actions throughout the day, considering where they lived in alignment with their values and where they fell short. This practice of reflection allowed them to end their day with a sense of closure and peace, free from lingering regrets or unresolved emotions. You can adopt a similar practice before bed, reflecting on the day with a sense of gratitude for what went well and an openness to learning from what didn't. This reflection doesn't have to be long or detailed, just a brief moment of acknowledging the day and letting it go. By doing so, you create the mental space needed for peaceful sleep. You release any lingering concerns or thoughts, trusting that they will be there tomorrow if you need to address them. This act of closure allows you to embrace sleep with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. The ultimate lesson that Stoicism offers when it comes to sleep is the understanding that we are not in control of everything. Sleep is one of life's natural processes, and just as we cannot force the tides to change or the seasons to alter, we cannot force ourselves to sleep. But when we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life, we open ourselves up to rest, peace, and tranquility. The Stoics remind us that we are part of a larger, harmonious system, and when we trust in this system, we find peace. Let sleep be your teacher tonight, and as you surrender to the process, allow yourself to rest deeply, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be.